What's up guys, FlamingVictini here and we're back for the final game of SPL. This is Hikari versus Zamrock. It was supposed to be Hikari versus Call of Loki, but Loki is not available at this time, so I think they subbed in Zamrock to play Hikari. And I think the Sharks are up 6-5 and Hikari is definitely much more experienced than Zamrock, so the Classiest are not in the best position right now. But Zamrock's gonna fight this game out. Let's see how he can do. So Hikari is using a Beedrill Volturn team with Melodic. Zamrock has got Mecha Absol, Mianshao, and Rotom. I guess Crobat, Rotom, and Mianshao create a Volturn core. Swampert's Florges pretty standard like defensive mons, and Absol. So looking at the team matchup, Zamrock definitely has the Crobat to take on the Beedrill, but otherwise he doesn't really have much to stop it from getting momentum. His Entei decisions are very poor. His best answer to Entei is Swampert, which is not exactly the greatest because it can get burned by the Secret Fire. That Snorlax, if it's Curse, is also looking like a very potentially big threat. As is the Cobalion. The Cobalion looks very threatening to Zamrock's team, especially if that Swampert gets worn down continuously over the course of the game. Looking at Zamrock's end, I think his Rotom Cut, if it specs, can do a ton of damage to Hikari's team if it clicks the right move. But it all depends on that Swamp, how well it can deal with the Swampert right there, the Snorlax right there, and we do see that the Skull gets a burn on that Rotom Cut, so that's definitely going to really hinder its capability of doing a lot of damage in this game. If Zamrock gets an opportunity to Mega Evolve with his Absol, and it has Superpower, then I can see the Absol doing a ton of damage. Also, if the Mianshao is a random HP Ice variant, it might be able to do some work, but otherwise, I think the Zamrock is pretty hard pressed this game. I don't think Hikari is at a disadvantage due to matchups, and I think Hikari is definitely the better player in UU and Zamrock, so this is going to be an uphill battle for Zamrock, definitely looking to be in the favor of the Sharks, but we do see that the Leaf Storm does take out that Cobalion right there, and that's definitely going to be very good for Zamrock to remove that thing, because he doesn't really have a solid switch into it. Now Hikari's going to go to his Golbat, and this might be, Hikari might just go for his defog right here, and Zamrock might want to take this as an opportunity to go to his Swampert, threaten to get those rocks back up again, and get those leftovers recovery. I think lefties on Swampert is really big. You'd rather have regular Pert in this game than Mega Pert, even though, because Milotic can kind of wall Mega Pert from Rain Dance sweeping, and you really want those leftovers recovery for continuous health. So yeah, he actually goes to his Crobat on the defog. I guess he fears like a potential toxic from the Golbat or something. I'm not really sure why he wouldn't go to his Swampert, but he does go to his Crobat, and I'm not really sure how Crobat threatens this Golbat, but what I do know is that the Golbat does not threaten the Crobat whatsoever. But there is the U-turn. Yeah, I was thinking that this might be U-turn, and I definitely disagree with Zamrock's play of going Crobat and then Swampert. He definitely should have just gone straight Pert on this Golbat. U-turn makes a lot of sense on this Golbat considering Hikari's team has Beedrill, also potentially Voltage Cobalion, and then like an Entei as a hard hitter, plus like Snorlax plus Milotic to just tank a lot of hits. So this Beedrill definitely does not beat the Swampert, but it can get off a U-turn if Zamrock chooses to stay and get up his Stealth Rocks, and Zamrock really needs to keep his Swampert as healthy as he possibly can. If he doesn't keep it healthy, that Entei is going to become a massive threat, and he just needs it in general to check the Beedrill. So Zamrock actually chooses to sacrifice momentum and go back to his Crobat on the U-turn. I'm not really sure how I feel about this either, because, Zamrock really should have just gone Swampert on that Golbat. I'm really not sure why on earth he would go. I really don't know why on earth he would go to his Crobat and then to his Swampert on the Gligar's U-turn, but this Snorlax definitely is going to threaten this Crobat with the Body Slam that could potentially paralyze it. If the Crobat doesn't taunt it, then the Snorlax might be able to curse up, and that's definitely going to really be bad for Zamrock. And Zamrock's only real strong way to hit this thing is with his Mianshao or a Superpower Absol. And otherwise, he doesn't really have a good way to deal with the curse Snorlax. And even if this Snorlax is like banded or something like that, like Zamrock just doesn't have good switches to return, considering that, well, assuming that Snorlax can beat the Florges, then Zamrock's not in a very good position, especially if the Swampert gets worn down, which is definitely getting worn down. And Zamrock is also under timer pressure right here, so he's also in an unfamiliar tier, so I really don't know. How he's. Oh, there's a lot of damage with that Brave Bird right there. That did a lot more than I expected, but there is the curse right there. There's the curse, so Zamrock could potentially pull in a aggressive switch right here into his Mienshao. Is that banded Crobat? I feel like that might be banded Crobat, because that did a lot more damage than I expected. I'm actually going to calc it right here. Snorlax, Curselax versus Crobat. And yes, that is definitely choice banded Crobat. He actually got a min roll, which is a little sad, but Hikari might go for the rest right here just to be a little safe. He doesn't want to lose his Snorlax prematurely, and if Zamrock can go to his Mienshao on the Snorlax switch, that definitely puts him in a better position than he was in before. He does go to his Swampert actually, and Hikari just rests up. I'm not sure why he went to Swampert, because he's giving the Snorlax an opportunity to sleep talk more or just damage this and there we see the body slam paralysis, and Zamrock is going to be forced to roar this turn, so he gets paralyzed. Oh god, if he gets one more paralysis, it's not going to be in a very good position for Zamrock. And if he didn't get paralyzed but was able to roar, at least he'd be around 50% health, but now he's going to have to take another body slam, and he's not going to be healthy enough to check anything. I'm really questioning the turn where he went to Crobat on the Gligar. I'm really questioning that turn, and he does successfully get off the roar into the Gligar, so that's probably the best thing that could happen for Zamrock for that turn. And this Gligar won't be able to OHKO the Swampert with anything, so he can fire off a Scald right here, or he can roar expecting the Milotic to switch. And does he roar? No, he just goes straight for the Scald and does not get the burn. So the burn would have activated Marvel Skill, but I guess it would have been nice to wear this Milotic down. I mean, Milotic is extremely tanky. But Zamrock is going to go to his Florges Ellen, and one thing I did forget to consider is that Zamrock can potentially Wish Pass to his Swampert, but he needs to be able to live a hit. And the Swampert is at 25% health, so that's definitely not the best. He's gonna need to somehow, I don't understand how Zamrock's gonna successfully be able to Wish. He does remove the paralysis, but I don't understand how he's gonna be able to successfully Wish his Swampert back up, and I think wishing his Swampert back up is definitely an important thing for Zamrock to do, because if he can successfully do that, that's gonna definitely put him in a better position. But this may not be Wish Florges, it might actually be Calm Mind, because we see the Synthesis right there, so it might be Calm Mind, Synthesis, Aromatherapy, Moonblast, and oh my god, Hikari goes for the Ice Beam and freezes the Florges. That is insane. My god. I think Hikari was just predicting the Rotom cut to come in, but this is looking very bad for the Classiest. The Classiest need to win this game to have a shot at this trophy. It is 6-5 in Shark's favor. And Hikari has a record of being pretty undefeated in playoffs, but Hikari, I mean, is this Florges already? It could be Calm Mind Florges. I don't understand why Hikari is saying that when it could definitely be Calm Mind Florges. But Hikari won't be able to use Scald here, because if he does Scald, then he's gonna thaw the Florges. So, but Hikari definitely does have free turns to try to abuse on this Florges. That must be so frustrating for Zamrock and the Classiest right there. He does pull a switch into his Beedrill. Does the Florges wake up? No, he actually pulls a double switch into his Mienshao. Now, I don't know if this Mienshao revealed anything, but He's threatening a Scarf here, and he's threatening a Fake Out here. And Beedrill does go for the Protect, as there we see the Mienshao go for the Stone Edge. So that is most likely a choice Scarf Mienshao. Protect is definitely the safest move there on Hikari's, and to just scout out for potential life or Fake Up, scout out for the Scarf, what it locks itself into. So Hikari can probably switch to his Milotic right here. His Gligar is kind of low, so I don't know if he wants to risk that. But I guess if he feels confident he can tank 2 edges, then he can do that. Otherwise, Milotic seems fine right here, but Hikari is definitely going to be spamming Ice Beam with his Milotic because he doesn't want the Rotom Cut to come in, and he doesn't want to thaw the Florges. And Zamrock's going to have to keep that in mind. I don't understand. He needs his Florges to thaw to beat the Milotic. He needs to have it thaw, but yeah, the Stone Edge does nothing. And Hikari can just fire off an Ice Beam right here. Honestly, I was thinking Zamrock might try to pull a double switch, but the fact that the Rotom is burned makes it even worse for Zamrock, because now he's just taking that chip damage every time he comes in. But he does go to his Florges, and oh, Hikari actually pulls a double switch to his Gligar. That's definitely smart. Zamrock probably is going to go to his Swampert right here, and Hikari does go for the Earthquake. I guess predicting the Swampert definitely, but now it's in range of another Earthquake, but I don't know if Gligar is faster than Swampert. Data Gligar, Data Swampert. Yeah, Gligar is definitely faster than this Pert, so Zamrock's not going to be able to take another EQ. I'm not really sure what his game plan here is. This looks like a really tough position. He does switch to his Rotom, and oh my god, Hikari plays him like a fiddle and goes for the Defog, expecting Zamrock to switch his Swampert. Oh my god. This is ridiculous. Oh my god. This is looking very, very bad for Zamrock. And Zamrock needs to somehow create a position where Florges can... he needs those rocks up, because he needs to pressure that Entei and Beedrill, which are the main things that are stopping a Calm Mind Florges from putting in a lot of work. But, I don't see how Zamrock plans to win this game unless he is SD Absol and somehow gets a little lucky with it. I'm not sure. This is looking like a very tough position for Zamrock. I completely forgot that... oh, there we go. I completely forgot that the Aromatherapy removed the burn from Rotom, so that's a mistake on my end, but there we see Rotom predict the Gligar and Volt Switch as Hikari predicts the Leaf Storm. I'm guessing it goes to his Beedrill. Now the Beedrill does outrun the Crobat right here, but it won't be able to KO it with anything unless it has knockoff, and that KOs the Crobat. He does just go straight for the U-turn, and there is the Pursuit on the Crobat. I was wondering if it was Pursuit or not, and Zamrock flexing out here. Where are you going for it? Oh my god, Zamrock ain't fooling around. Goodness gracious. So he's able to remove the Beedrill. So Zamrock is technically up 6-4, but I still think that the ball is in Hikari's court right here. Zamrock's team is extremely weakened, his Swampert is weakened, his Florges is frozen, his Crobat is weakened, his Rotom is somewhat weakened, and the Milotic is definitely looking very, very threatening to Zamrock's team. One thing I do think, however, is that Zamrock's Rotom Cut is definitely a bigger threat to Hikari's team, now that he's kind of broken it apart a little bit and removed that burn. I definitely can see the Absol, Zamrock needs to pull double switch. I think what he needs to do is pull double switches. Okay, never mind. He just sacks his Swampert to the extreme speed, so he's not going to be getting up rocks this game again. And now what is Zamrock going to do? He could go to... Mienshao, I guess. This Milotic is such a big threat to Hikari's, to Zamrock's team. Goodness gracious, but Hikari does have Gligar to come in on HJK and Milotic to come in on Stone Edge. I honestly don't know how much Stone Edge does to Gligar, but I'm gonna actually calc this right now. Mienshao, Choice Scarf. This is Gligar. don't think it'd be doing that much, and yeah, that's doing absolutely nothing. So I don't know if Zamrock wants to knock off here, predicting Hikari to switch to Milotic or Gligar, but Hikari might stay in, predicting Zamrock to not go for the Stone Edge, but it seems really risky to do that, because Entei is one of the main things he definitely needs his Entei around to check that Florges. I'm going to assume that the Florges is going to unthaw some point in the game. He definitely needs that Florges to thaw. Otherwise, not having that Florges around is definitely really difficult. And the other thing is that Hikari's Milotic doesn't really pressure the Florges that much. Zamrock has a lot of... he has opportunities on the Milotic, basically. Oh, he does not go for the knockoff. I would have loved to see the knockoff right there to remove the Sphinxy Violite. I don't understand why he didn't knock off. It definitely seemed like the better play to me to knock off, but I guess that's just what he chose to do. He's definitely going to be able to roost off with this Gligar. He might even choose to U-turn to get momentum, but that seems really risky for me. Now that he's in range to get 2 KO'd by HJK, I think he just roost off, but it might give... The thing is with this Violite, I don't know how well it can take on Specs Rotom, but I think Specs Rotom can potentially do a lot of damage with that Leaf Storm. So yeah, this Rotom is looking very threatening. I actually want to see how it fares up against Snorlax. And Leaf Storm is doing around 50%, and the Snorlax is at full, but Volt Switch can definitely chip it around. I think Zamrock needs to throw around some knockoffs. Remove the Milotics lefties, threaten the Entei, threaten the Snorlax, remove the Gligar's Violite. All of that is really good for him, but the thing is, he needs his, oh my god. What the heck happened here? Oh my god. So Hikari goes for the Earthquake, predicting Zamrock to roost with his Crobat, and Zamrock switches out into his Rotom. Oh my god. I don't understand this series of plays. I think Zamrock HJKing was a mistake completely, honestly, and Hikari knows that the Crobat is locked into Roost right there. I'm not sure why on earth you would go to Crobat and Roost on the Gligar. I have no idea why you would do that, but I guess that's what Zamrock chose to do. I mean, Banded Roost is not bad, but I don't understand the point of going for that in the first place. Zamrock switches in his Florges on the Entei, and Hikari's gonna actually switch out to his Snorlax here on this Florges, and oh boy, this Snorlax can curse, and that's definitely not gonna be good for Zamrock. So Zamrock's actually gonna go to his Crobat right here and sack it to the Body Slam, and letting his Rotom take that damage, letting his Crobat go, that's really a big mistake in my opinion on Zamrock's end. Please tell me he knocks off right here, please. Okay, he U-turns instead. I guess he can go to Rotom. Does he not have knockoff? HJK, U-turn, Stone Edge, come on, you've gotta have knockoff. I guess he just doesn't want to give up the momentum, but he definitely should have knocked off the Gligar on the turn he HJK'd. I feel like on that turn, Zamrock lost a lot of momentum, especially when he chose afterwards to go to his Crobat Roost on an Earthquake and then switch out to his Rotom Cut on a U-turn. That seemed really poor. It seemed like Hikari definitely outplayed him right there, and I think it was just a poor series of plays on Zamrock's end, but Zamrock definitely has the pressure of the Leaf Storm right here, and if he wants to be aggressive, he can Volt Switch on Gligar's Switch. Does he Volt Switch? No, he actually tricks. So I guess he's neutering the slope, this Snorlax as a threat. He's pretty much going for the Florges sweep, I guess, but he needs to remove that Entei first. I don't understand how he's going to remove that Entei. I don't understand how he's going to remove that Entei. He needed to keep his Swampert. I think he he needs to thaw. He definitely needs to thaw. That body slam is doing too much damage. I don't understand how Zamrock's gonna win this. Even if this floor just thaws, I think Zamrock is really hard pressed to win this game. He stays frozen. Oh my god. He potentially, oh my god, there's the freeze. He lives. If he does not thaw this turn, it's pretty much GG. There we go. Okay, so Hikari pretty much wins. At this point, I don't see any way Zamrock's gonna win this game. At this point, oh my god. Oh my god. How on earth? Okay, so definitely the freeze was extremely unlucky on Zamrock's end, but I want to point out a few turns where I think he made mistakes. I think he made a mistake when he switched to his Crobat on the Gligar's defog and then switched to Swampert on its U-turn. That didn't make any sense at all to me. I'm really not sure why on earth he would make that play rather than going straight Swampert. And the other thing is that I don't understand why he went to Crobat on the Gligar and tried to beat it with that. I don't understand why he didn't keep his Swampert healthy. He definitely should have kept his Swampert a lot healthier. I don't understand. He definitely should have just gone Swampert on the Gligar and gotten up those rocks again on the defog, on the turn after the defog. I don't understand why on earth he went to Crobat. I think that lost him so much momentum. And I think the fact that he hasn't even knocked off this Gligar yet is just making it so much worse for Zamrock. I think Zamrock is just I think Zamrock kind of just gave up. I think Zamrock kind of just gave up. And Hikari's just going to play this really, really safe. I think Hikari's just going to... I mean, Hikari's just been playing really, really safe. And I think Zamrock's just been attempting to predict Hikari, to over-predict. But, yeah, Hikari just roost. It's really, really safe for him to just roost. Hikari's just gonna go to a Snorlax right here, and oh my god. Hikari goes for the U-turn on the Voltage, basically rubbing it in. Oh my god. Oh my goodness, Hikari is just playing Zamrock like a fiddle. Okay, Zamrock definitely should have gone Pert on the Gligar. Definitely should have kept his Pert healthier. Should not have flailed around with his Crobat. The only good thing he did with that Crobat was force the Snorlax to rest and Super Sutrap that Beedrill, honestly. He definitely should have clicked knockoff a few more times. I don't really understand what was going through Zamrock's head, but I think he was trying to predict Hikari to over-predict when Hikari had no reason to over-predict. But Milotic Ice Beam freezing the floor just was definitely big, but the thing is that Zamrock needs his freaking rocks up, because without his rocks up he can't punish the Beedrill and the Entei, and the Beedrill and the Entei was what was threatening a Calm Mind Florges. You trick the Snorlax, it's going to be a non-threat to Calm Mind Florges. Milotic won't be able to beat Calm Mind Florges unless it freezes it. Gligar won't be able to beat Calm Mind Florges. Literally the only way Hikari can beat CM Florges is with his Cobalion, potentially, which died, Beedrill, which got wrecked, and Entei, which needs to be whittled down with Stealth Rocks, but the Zamrock didn't go to Swampert on the Gligar, which could have just done so safely, and he let his Swampert go, and I really think he needed to keep his Swampert as healthy as he could and get up those rocks, just maintain those rocks and pressure him with the Florges as much as he could. As much as the Crotum cut as he could. I think those were his two main threats. Zamrock didn't even... I think he also could have tried to go Absol mid-game and throw around some knockoffs. I think that could have done him a lot of good. But Zamrock just did none of those things. I mean, he got one thing right by removing that Beedrill, but this just looks like a horrible position for Zamrock at this point. Hikari can just risklessly go to his Snorlax right here. He doesn't need Snorlax for anything, as he actually goes to his Gligar straight, and Zamrock just fires off another HJK. Oh my goodness. So Hikari can just EQ and roost, and this is pretty much over. I don't see how Zamrock Zamrock needs some massive luck with his Absol. He needs some massive luck with his Absol. And I guess that's what he's going for, as Gligar just goes for the EQ and Hikari just says GG, and this is pretty much over. I really wanted to see tiebreaker finals. I also really wanted to see Classiest to win this series. I don't know, I wanted to see Classiest and Sharks play tiebreakers and see Classiest win. I was just rooting for the Classiest personally. But I'm not even sure why Zamrock had to play. I thought they were giving an extension so that Loki and Hikari could play, but I think Zamrock made some mistakes this game with his Swampert and his Crobat and Rotom, which I think he really needs to use well, and that freeze definitely sucked for Zamrock. That definitely was horrible for Zamrock, but in comes the player like me, trying to give a last stand, but it's not going to be enough. And the Sharks are going to take the trophy this SPL. Oh my god. There's the E-Speed. Knockoff, not enough, and another E-Speed will take out the Absol for the game. So yep, that's the series. That's it. I was really hoping to see the Swampert put in a little more work, pressure Hikari's Entei and Beedrill a little more. I think Zamrock could have won if he did that. I also think he could have won if he threw out a few more knockoffs with his Mienshao, rather than just attacking what was in front of him. Except for that one turn where he U-turned. I mean, Hikari just got some plays correct. He played how he needed to play to win, and I think Zamrock made some mistakes that didn't give him a position that would allow him to win, and Hikari just made the plays that allowed him to win. So yeah, I guess that's it. I'm just repeating the same things over and over again. I mean, I don't think Zamrock played bad. I think he just made some mistakes that cost him in the long run. Like, especially after he got off that Aroma Therapy to remove the burn from the Rotom, I think he could have done a lot more work. He even got the 6-4 lead, but I think he just lost a lot of steam against that Gligar. I think he really misplayed around Hikari's Gligar. The first thing he didn't do is he didn't go straight Purr on it in the mid-game, or in the early game even. He went to Crobat, right? I don't know why Zamrock kept going to Crobat on the Gligar when it wasn't even Taunt Crobat. It was literally Banded Crobat, so I don't understand why Crobat was Zamrock's answer to Gligar. I think Zamrock was just expecting the Gligar to go for a U-turn a lot more than it actually did, and it just didn't work out for him. He definitely should have just kept going Pert on the Gligar, and the best Hikari could do was continuously EQ it on the switch, then U-turn, and not be able to just keep whittling down the Swampert, but he shouldn't have let the Swampert get below 40 or 30% in my opinion. I think he should have definitely kept this Swampert outside of range from, well, I mean, it wasn't even a Wish Florges, so it was Calm Mind. I'm pretty sure it was Calm Mind Florges. I mean, it might have been Wish Synth, it might have been Wish Synth, Aromatherapy Moonblast, but in that case, that means he can build up a Swampert. But that also leaves him a lot weaker to Milotic, but it also means he can support his Swampert and his Rotom a lot better. So, I honestly think the matchup had the potential to be a very, very close game. The matchup seems like both players have their own advantages and disadvantages versus the others. So, I guess that's it. Zamrock's also playing a very unfamiliar tier to him as far as I know, so he definitely played well for an SPL Finals game under so much pressure in an unfamiliar tier. He definitely did well. So yeah, I guess, yeah, that's it. I'm just rambling at this point, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Congratulations to the Shark for winning the SPL this year. You guys definitely did a great job, and yeah, that's it. See you guys later.